Hi, I'm Rebecca Greenspan, founder of RG Adoption Consulting. So, the two things that make people the most nervous about adoption is financial and emotional. Let's start with financial. Adoptions cost a lot of money. There's just no way around it. And it sounds weird to say because we're talking about babies, adopting a baby. It just feels weird to talk about the financial, but it's a thing. Most people know going into the adoption process that adoptions will probably fall between $45,000 to $55,000 when all is said and done, including everything. So they've already worked through that fear or that obstacle of even coming up with the money. Where the real fear lies is in losing it. Now, one thing is that you don't lose that full amount. The typical loss financially, if a fall through should occur, meaning if a birth mother or expectant mother decides to parent and not move forward with the adoption, is between $10,000 to $20,000. Some agencies have a lesser risk, and some agencies' risk is even higher than that. Most people I know don't have an extra $10,000 to $20,000 laying around that they can just flush down the toilet. And so I think that's where the fear lies. There are things that you can do to help cushion yourself or be able to move forward from that situation if it does happen. Now, two things. I want to back up and talk just very quickly about mindset. Mindset, while going through the adoption process, is huge. You need to go in knowing that there is a real possible risk of fall through and of financial loss. It's just part of the process. It happens about 25% of the time, and nobody's immune really to that number. So if you know that going into it and knowing, wow, if this happens, it'll really suck. But we know that this is a possibility and we are prepared to figure out how to move on from there. So either you state your budget about $10,000 less than what it really is, what your big reach budget can be, because once you tell an agency what your budget is, they're going to hopefully present you situations within that budget. So doing that could help. Some people are open to fundraising and just kind of letting the world know what you're up to and asking people to help support you. And I'll tell you, people are very happy to support you for something as beautiful as adoption. And there are other people who are going to give you all sorts of opinions about why they think what you're doing is wrong. So you have to know that going into. You have to have it's not for the faint of heart. But hopefully you'll have more support than not. There are grants available. Now, a lot of grant foundations or grant organizations want to know that you're already matched and prepared to go forward with the process. So some people, after they've experienced a fall through, I will help them through that grant process, knowing that they're going to move forward and hoping to help secure them some extra financing to continue to move forward. Now, there are a ton of grants out there. If you Google adoption grants, you'll find a whole lot of them. You have to look at their criteria, okay? And the other great resource that I've recently come across is fundyouradoption.tv. You can find all sorts of stuff on the internet about funding your adoption. Also, know that there's the adoption tax credit. I'm not going to get very into all of that, but you can receive after an adoption, or I am pretty positive after a fall through, you can receive money back based on your income level and how much taxes you pay for the year. Google adoption tax credit. But that amount is about 13,570, I think is what it was in 2018. And I think it's the same this year. That's really helpful to know that may be coming back to you, again, if you fall in a certain income bracket. And many people are hesitant in reaching out to family or perhaps a place of worship that they're involved in, but that is another source of income, a place that can support you financially so that you don't have to be as scared of that financial piece of it. The second biggest fear or biggest place of where nerves really set in is emotional. Most people, when they begin the adoption process, have already been through an emotional roller coaster of infertility and trying to get pregnant on their own. Not all, but most. So you've already been through a hell of a lot before even starting on your adoption journey. And you just don't know if you can handle another emotional setback in your marriage, by yourself. And I would say that you're probably stronger than you think you are. And yes, it will be a setback if that happens, and you will need time to recover. Everybody's different in that time period of recovery. If you know you're somebody that just has a really hard time recovering from an emotional setback, maybe one of the stipulations in your adoption journey is matching with an expectant mother that doesn't have too much further to go in the pregnancy. Because I feel like the less amount of time you wait, the easier it is, or the less amount of time it takes you to be able to bounce back and move forward. Now, on the flip side, a longer match sometimes means a more secure match in that you are able to really build a relationship and bond with the expectant mother. So there's pros and cons to everything, but financial and emotional are definitely two big reasons that people wait so long to even begin the process because they're so scared of those two things. And I get that. At RG Adoption Consulting, we've got your back. We can't make it better, but we can support you and be there and give you the virtual hug that you need and some really solid advice to be able to move forward. I'm happy to announce that everybody we have worked with has continued the process even after a fall through. And in the majority of cases, in fact, in just about all the cases that we have seen, they've ended up with a baby that they know is the right baby for them and would go through that pain over and over again, knowing it would lead to their baby. So I believe in you. I know that you are stronger than you think you are and pretty darn resourceful. And if you want to be a parent bad enough, or if you want to grow your family, I believe there's a way. And I'm happy to explore that with you. If you want to know how we support our clients and the process that we walk people through, just go to the video on this website under the contact page. And for 18 minutes, I will walk you through our process step by step. And then we're giving you a freebie so that you don't have to take notes. Just give us your email and we'll send you that adoption roadmap straight to your inbox. I hope this was helpful. I hope that you conquer your fears and move forward, because the adoption journey, although emotional at times and expensive, is also really exciting and well worth it. I drank the adoption Kool-Aid, and trust me, it wasn't an easy process, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. I'm so blessed that of everything that had happened in my life leading me up to looking towards adoption. And I believe that you'll feel the same way when your baby is in your arms.